Hey, everybody. So, you've just joined the Wicked Lady Hippie. We are at my bar, meaning I'm at the house, and it's my rules, my bar. Technically, we're hippies. We don't have a hell of a lot of rules. Background, Army veteran, published author, wife, mother of one, grandmother of two, and my grandson's also an Army veteran. Thank you so much. I have thrown open live chat. I ended up out last week. We had a lot of trouble last week. The AC went out, so we had to have people come in, take care of that. That took a couple of days. Luckily, here in Augusta, Georgia, we were only hitting the upper 90s. And I can't usually, once the temperature's 74, I'm fine at 73, but at 74, I can't breathe. So I'm running around grabbing inhalers. And then my husband gets to worry, and he goes, throws in window units and all kinds of stuff just to get me through 48 hours. Oops, there goes there it is. It's back. I've got this on the wrong side, really. I usually wear a headband so that the headphones, which are obviously too large for me, don't slip down, but they do, and I'm in a hurry, so bear with me. Again, we haven't been up. For me, it's a social. Woodstock is the best thing they've invented since AC. Or sliced bread, depending on who you are. I'm going with AC. I was in Europe. I was stationed there. My son was born in Heidelberg, Germany. He had a passport when he was 6 weeks old. It was fun. I loved it. That was before they came up with the no borders stupid idea. Mind you, it's kind of like the United States, the way Europe is. So you're driving from France, or you take the subway, you take a boat from France over to England, and you run from England over to Scotland. So it's kind of like states, except a little harder to get to in some ways. But in my day, they had their own money. It was a mark in Germany and so forth and so on. The pound in England. So you had to get that little thing. You didn't have the computers. I was happy with an electronic typewriter that was correctable. So that tells you what era I was in. This is before freaking Xerox. We had carbon paper. If you fucking typed that wrong, you screwed up everybody. It was a huge clusterfuck. And I ran divisions. When I enlisted, it was into the WAC Corps. The WAC Corps was disbanded while I was in flight, apparently. So when I landed, I was at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And they said, you are the first company of women to be with the men, to train with them. The WAC Corps has been disbanded, so there's no more Women's Auxiliary Corps. If you don't want to stay, you can go home. We will send you back. There's nothing, no discharge or anything. And we're like, bring it. We done got this far. And mind you, at this point, we had gone through everything. Shots, linen, and you're literally at where you're going to be billeted. So it was, bring it. I was 17, had to have my mother and father signed papers to let me go in. I was one of those kids that at 9 years old, I was reading college notes, so I kind of pushed things fast. So I was still very young. Even when my son was born, still very young. A young grandmother. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But when I thought about it, it was about the same. It was exactly the same age difference between my son and his son as it had been to me. And I'm fidgeting because it seems like I've got one of my earrings knocked loose because I can't see it. And the other one is fading over here. And I pulled it out somewhere. No telling where. I'll have to find it. So we'll just worry about it later. Where was I? Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of things going on. I don't even know where to begin. We've got possible nuclear weapons being leveled at Iran. I'm thinking Dubai's not going to like that a lot. These places, like I said, in Europe are not that far apart, not the Middle East either. They're like, kind of like our states. That's the way I think of it. And so I'm like, okay, this isn't going to be a good thing. So I haven't really paid attention to a lot of it. Again, there was a lot going on last week, so I didn't bother to try to do a broadcast. And today I've kind of run around and done stuff that you would normally do like on Saturday or Sunday. And I had to wait until Monday because I had all this other stuff going on. And we have, it's kind of like a cat sanctuary, animal sanctuary, impromptu thing. And so we ended up, people just bring us kittens. They've got their eyes open, they got to be bottle fed, yada, yada. So we have a lot of cats. So expect me to be photobombed by a cat. Don't be alerted there. You'll be okay. So I leave this basically wide open. I think that it's kind of like, to me, it's social Woodstock. It's like when we used to sit around and we were drinking and we were talking. I was having keggers back then. I don't know if they still do that, but maybe they do. I used to have a lot of those. I charged to get in and give you a stamp. My kid was at the door. My kid was a latchkey kid. He was definitely a latchkey kid. I'm a hippie. And I ran through the 60s and 70s. Oops, there it is again. I got to quit gesturing. I ran through those like my ass was on fire. I didn't slow down until like 2020. They made us, like during the pandemic. I was retiring at this point, and I thought I was going to go slap stupid. And it turned out I'm a homebody. I rather like it. After all these years of running around the world and running huge divisions and all that stuff, being quiet, I thought that's crazy because I've always got something to do. I can't even keep up with my housework now. I don't know how the hell I had college and 2 jobs. And then my kid was the one who learned to cook because I didn't have time. I'd run through to get grilled cheese, grabbing my jacket or lab coat or whatever it was to get to the second job or to college, because we had to go back to college or at least at some kind of a tech school because they kept changing all of the equipment. Every 10 seconds, there was a new one. I didn't even figure out how to run a Xerox until 1999. So it's got tone over here, it's got this over here. Change this tray, change it. So I rode through the 80s and 90s highly pissed off, and I was happy a couple of weekends, we'll put it that way. Used to bring everybody I worked with me. Used to throw keggers at the barracks. I hear the doorbell. Which means I don't know if my husband has company coming, or if there's a package that's being delivered, because they will do that. But since I'm up here live, I'm not going to go run and see. I would call my husband, but if he can't hear by now, he needs to turn his TV down. He's up in the man cave. We made the I'm sorry. We made the upstairs 2 apartments during the pandemic, basically. They have the little refrigerators and microwaves. It's kind of like a little hotel at the house. I love that. I have the suite and they have the room. When my grandson came back from Korea, he was leaving the army. It was his time up. And he did not realize, bless him, I don't blame him with all the stuff that was going on. I was very worried for him. It turned out that the one section of time that I served was the one thing that time frame was the only one that we didn't have a war going on. So I skated right past that. And when I enlisted, I had done so because of Vietnam and cousins and nephews and so forth. And I had learned to be a secretary and a nurse so that I could serve on the back line. So people fought over me because I could do both. And I ended up at Fort Sam Houston. And my step-grandson called us one day and said he was in the Army, he'd finished boot camp, and he was now a trainee for a medic at Fort Sam Houston and San Antonio. And he said he just wanted his grandma to know that all those stories was why he went in and went in as a field medic and got to go to Fort Sam Houston. He loved that. And he said, all the stories grandma told her, I said they were true. So I had 2 grandsons, even though Ezra is my step-grandson from my stepdaughter's side. She's a nurse. She became a nurse later in life. She got the kids and did all that, and then took time to go to college. It's basically what we all do. We go out, we drink, we get along, and you have kids. I didn't think I'd have it yet. I was all that. You take the precautions and all that. His father was supposed to have not been able to have children. So we were one of the first people, that went in and said, okay, I need a blood test. I need something. I'm not sure what's going on here because I got like this one dude. Even though it's supposed to be that way, I'm still using protection. There's just sometimes everybody that when God says, you're having a baby, you're having a baby. And it ended my Army career because I couldn't do both because I was sent to Korea. If I went to Korea, I was to give him over at full custody to my mother-in-law. And I wouldn't give custody of my child to anybody. I'm an adopted child myself. And the blood family reached out to find me when I was 30 here in Georgia, way southern Georgia. My sister, she and I had been adopted together. When I was 9, she was 7. There was a government program. They paid the parents till she was 18 per month. They got a stipend. So it made the Parade magazine's front cover. So I had all kinds of friends that were running back after vacation. It came out in June or July of that year, in 67, 68, something like that. And so, yeah, here I was all over there. I ended up my commercial. Nobody paid me. You'd see like part of me when they were doing something about like the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio when I worked there, and it was connected to the VA hospital and to the county hospital, and we were in the training hospital for the doctors and nurses. The same way I had been at St. Houston and Karlsruhe and Germany and so forth and Heidelberg. So it was always busy. I always had it was a suitcase. I called it a briefcase, and then they came out with laptops and so forth and so on, and I was just, and I didn't want one. My husband got me my first computer at home, and I kept saying I didn't want one because I had to work with him, and I was already pissed. So I didn't see what good it would do me to have one at home, except bring home more work. I told you I'd be photobombed. Get down, Pixie. So yes, I'm gonna have to flick her. She's really hard to get through to. She's a tough cookie. I have something going on all the time, folks. This goes out. I'm allowed to have my little cigarillo here and have a drink at the bar. I don't smoke. I'm not allowed to smoke. My husband's really good to me, and he gets me these little cigars, which I used to have when I was in Europe. What are you going to do? Sit on me? She will sit on me. There's a space here where there's a door. The bar covers most of it, but there's enough to shove a cat into the kitchen. We redid the entire bottom of the house when he got the bar. I thought I was getting a small corner bar. It's this huge bar, big mirror on the other side. This is where it's a horseshoe. We added another piece that takes it over. So you've got your ice maker, your refrigerator, you've got all this stuff marble underneath. It's a great bar. It's a Remington. He ended up at a $7 million house to get the bar. And then he called me and he said, this is not a local. So we redid the whole bottom floor. So now you know where we're at. We still are not complete. We had a pod for 2 months. We thought we were pretty good with that. Everything was kind of in place, and he had taken out carpets because I'd been yelling about it for a decade. Get the carpets out. I didn't have carpet. I had like the mat. I had shampooed it so much. And so he put in the wood floors and he painted and all that. Right after that, I had a horrific accident. And let's just say the accident was really bad, and I couldn't move after that for over a year. They couldn't do surgery until a month had passed from the accident, because the day of the surgery, the hurricane came in, Hurricane Helene, and took out Augusta, completely took out the entire city. There was no VA shutdown except for emergency room, and that was all, which I was, because I was scheduled for surgery that day. And so I had to have medication, I had to have checks and all this stuff. So it was a really frightening time. And my husband he just went crazy at making sure he had the generator going, he had gas for everything. So he managed to do all that because he had to take care of me, period. And everything else that maybe I would do, he had to find time to do. And he was out there trying to help people get all the trees up. We used to have a forest. It was like an L-shaped forest on the side behind our house. And after that, the only thing I lost was my hothouse. I have 2 huge storage sheds here. One looks like the big red barn with the white, and the other's like a plastic one. But it only took out my hothouse, which still upset me a lot because my husband had made the flooring in there, and I'd had it for like 5 years. And it was something. We had huge glass tables on the lanai, the grill, all that stuff. Didn't touch it. We had 2 glass tables on the front porch, and chairs and benches and all that. It just blew the one steel bench all the way over into the neighbor's yard. It's quite a ways. We have like half an acre maybe on either side of us. And like I said, all these trees come down and they didn't hit us. They didn't hit the neighbors. We were just shocked because now I'm saying my glasses are gonna make them worse. But see, we've been through all of that. It took a year to get me back on the feet. I stopped broadcasting from my original channel and opened a new channel because it was giving me fits, and I was just pissed off. I kept coming in and out of physical therapy at the time I came back online. I used to think when I started this, I mentioned it to my son, and I mentioned it to my husband. I thought it was really cool. Like Joe Rogan and so forth, and AJ Heckfish and all that. Hey, guys, peace. Joe, loved you in news radio when you did the cheer singing. I still laugh when I think about that. God bless you. It was a bad time, though. I know that was. I followed you for years. You're a great guy. And I approved the move to Austin, Texas. I'm not sure how I got second, I guess, to Georgia, except that, like I said, the family found me. I came down to meet them. The sister was married to, the woman who found me was married to the half brother. And her brother is who is my husband now, has been for decades since we met. I just grabbed his ass and took it back to San Antonio. We didn't marry for like 4 years, but decades now. And we just know each other's buttons. I mean, yeah, we can make each other cuss you out till you have turned blue without taking a breath. I have become absolutely an academic on that score. So I was going to say, okay, this is what we used to do. Used to get here and we used to talk about this, that, and the other, as the man, we're not going to do this. The hell's a barcode? And now I'm an unpaid, untrained cashier working at Walmart to get my fucking groceries out the door. I love it when I buy medicine. I bought some children's cold medicine for a friend of mine. And they come running up, they want an ID. I'm like, okay. These children's coughs are, what the fuck all do they do with that stuff? So I'm like, okay, I got this. So I pull it out. They're like, and I'm like, is this waitress at the Last Supper? Are you good now? She's all, you finished cupcake? I don't have a lot of patience with people sometimes. Again, I get that kind of crap. I've just spent over $200. I have to pick it all up, put it in the car, take it all out, ring it up, put it back, put all the bags back in the car. Take all the car, put out the stuff, get it in the trunk. And I buy like 30 pounds of cat food at a time, the big bags. And I also buy moist food because I give them moist food in that twice a day. And they're still skinny as they can be. And the heat has been horrible. I wanted to set up a sprinkler, see if they'd play in that just to cool them off. I think we have some somewhere, I don't know. Because it got really hot this year. And we're not really into the high temperatures yet. I was shocked that we made it through the last week without AC. But, we didn't not have AC. Because my husband worked scrambling around. He found an AC unit that's got this hose, and he put the hose out the window. And it's like a little refrigerator, and it doesn't set in the window or anything. You can just move it wherever you go. So that was fun. But they got us up and running pretty quick. And Perry, we've been here 15 years, and that poor boy, this is our third set for AC and heating that we've bought here. I used to work for Lennox, and every time it doesn't, I look at the thermometer and I go, oh shit. It is always in the summer. It never goes out in the winter. I have like 3 or 4 heaters I can just plug up, not worry about it. It's a little harder when your AC goes out, And so that was entertaining. I had fun with that. So we're back up, and I said, my husband goes, what you gonna do? I was like, I don't know, I hadn't really caught up to everything. I like the Trump thump. Oh, Donnie is funny. Hey, if you can call Kid Rock Bobby, or Bob, I can call him Donnie. He's got a great sense of humor. I think he'd like it. I hope they can never get the mug shot out of the Oval Office. I mean, for any country to do that to their former president is beyond the pale to me. I'm just like, how stupid do you think Americans look already? It's pretty bad. Look around. It's not a good thing. It's just not. I'm like, okay. I like how he dealt with that. I'm tired of playing with that one. My husband bought me a humidor, so I have 5 or 6 in there. I'm not allowed but a piece of one, but it goes out when you're talking. So my husband says, okay. I couldn't get my he buys me those little airplane bottles whiskey fireball. It's got this burst of cinnamon. And he didn't get that this time. I didn't have it, so he brought me a big bottle. So instead of doing that, I'm just throwing it into, I like my whiskey on the rocks. And lately, since I'm old, I throw a little bit of wild cherry or whatever I got in there. OJ, depends on my mood. So drop in, have a drink, talk to me, whatever you want to do. As you can see, I'm not like Joe. I don't have a lot of A-list friends that are going to pop through. I have friends and family. They want nothing to do with this. Like I said, when I mentioned it, when I decided it was pretty cool, I wanted to try it. It was close to Christmas, so my son got me a starter kit, and my husband got me a starter kit, but it had the gold mic, because I like the gold mic, and he knew that. And so I was, like almost every day, I would do a podcast when they first got it for me. So that first year up to September, when I was injured so bad and I had to take it off. I didn't even do Facebook. I still haven't got back on Facebook. I haven't found time. It's awful. It's like after the accident, even though I can walk and everything now, I can't do everything, but I can get about without somebody here. I went out today and did the rounds and sweated buckets. The car AC needs help. I mean, it finally gets cold, but you're getting into a car that's 180 degrees. It takes a while. So I wondered what everybody else thought and what was going on. Throw it in live chat, throw it in comments. I'll try and check you later. God knows I usually don't edit, so unless I get a lot of chatter, I probably won't get back. I'm a hippie born and bred. People used to turn around and call me a baby boomer right after I slapped the piss out of them. They quit doing that. Army. The cool part is we have women fighter pilots that are kicking ass. I've seen them take them damn things off of those carriers, come back. I love those girls. Respect. But we did kick out that door. And it was not an easy door to kick in, let me tell you. It's a cute movie called Private Benjamin. And it's with Goldie Hawn, and she's like got my part. It's not as fun and not as detailed, but it's a pretty close proximity to what was going on. I would say they would be like the 3 years down the road from where we went in, and knocked those doors down, took all those bruises to say, well, women can do it. And sometimes it happens a lot. While I was first there, we'd be first and they'd be second. They did not like that. We had Vietnam Airborne Rangers as drill sergeants, and the very first day that we were being billeted, our drill sergeant said, well, we used to jump out of helicopters and kill people. I'd been up 4 days. I was just stupid. I fell out laughing. I fell on the ground laughing. 20 girls joined me. We'd all been up for 4 days. We're like, is that a threat, you shithead? We did not have any idea what we were getting into. We caught on rather quick after that. He nicknamed me Wicked. He said, you've got rank there, bullet. And the others are trainees if you don't have any rank. By the way, in the Army, shit rolls uphill. So if you have rank, it goes to you. And he says, yeah, it says here you're from Chicago, Cook County, Illinois. I said, yes, drill sergeant. He said, you don't have any record. I said, I know, drill sergeant, I really worked hard at that. He said, I don't know how you managed to skirt that. That's Chicago. I was like, I know, I couldn't figure it out either. And he was trying not to laugh. He was trying to look big. So he said, from now on, I'm going to call you Wicked. And by the way, when I need office work done, I'm tapping you. And I was like, oh, fuck. Now I got 2 jobs with whatever else they're going to throw at me. They gave me a grenade in training. It's, you got to do this, this, and this. And I'm looking around, I was like, what are y'all still doing here? Well, we're here for support. I don't need support. I was picked last for softball. Get the fuck out. They did laugh at that. But I managed to clear the wall and blow up whatever I was supposed to blow up, so that worked out well. Never held a weapon. I learned how to take that thing apart blindfolded, put it back together again after I cleaned it. I love an M16. That was my baby. I missed that. We have a lot of guns, but I don't have an M16. I also am a controlled carry, always have been. I was one time without a weapon. I was pinned down at a parade with family. Well, I grabbed them. They were right in the line car. A mother and three children, babies. And I was trying to make sure they did not go. And kids, just don't listen. And when there's three of you and the mother is hysterical, and you're like, I mean, literally, this guy's killing people, they're dropping in front of you. You know, and by this time the police are up and they're firing. So we're like in a crossfire. And I'm, you know, constantly holding the one kid, she's got the two, and holding her heads down and trying to take cover. And after that, I said I would never again go out without a weapon, because the life I could have saved wouldn't have been just mine. You know, it's just too much to end up in such a position. What glasses are just, and not know what to do. See, they just, I don't know what's wrong with them. Cat probably got on them. And if I can't see, you'd think if I couldn't see, I could still talk, right? This is the funny part people ask me about. How do you get them to just talk? I said, what are you going to do? You're going to get them to just throw videos on it? It's like plagiarism to me. Maybe it's because I'm a published author, but I'm like, these people put these videos, you can see them up yourself. Why would I put up a video that people have already seen 4 million views of? Unless I'm asked to do that. If I'm asked to do that, throw it up there. I don't care what the subject is. It could be the paranormal, it could be, you know, school rules, it could be racism, which is something I ain't never understood ever in my life. I just never understood it. Even in the Army, we were all one thing. It didn't matter where you came from, what your religion was, that's supposed to be what America is. And I've watched things going on with sanctuary cities that, to me, it's secession. You know, Fort Sumter fired a cannonball and it began the Civil War. These bitches are out there, you know, in a sanctuary city and telling the man at a dinner that they're not going to listen to the federal government. She would have been drawn and quartered had I been up there. Tarred, feather, something. What the? I wouldn't have tolerated any of that. The first term he had, I would never have tolerated all those people talking to me like that. I just wouldn't have. No. Behind the scenes, I'd have told him, you know, you come back, I'm putting you in jail. Don't even try to come back, because I'm taking your press back. You'll never be here to talk to me again. And he would keep talking to them. That's just driving me stupid. Well, it's probably not a far drive, apparently. Yeah. Never mind, I'll just have another drink. So, back in the day, guys, back when we hippies were around, and now they bring it to your door. I'm a Cheech Chong. I did that one time. I have to talk about my high school at some point. My husband said it was a resort. But then you look at my son hated school here in Georgia. Said my stepdaughter, and I couldn't blame him. So did my grandchildren. My grandson was always at my house because he didn't do the homework or whatever, and my son would just send it to me. We're only an exit away from each other, so you know, he's like, "Mom, take him, because I'm going to kill him," and then I'd make him work all weekend. It's very good. But then I take him out to lunch and stuff. He remembers that morning. He remembers the fact that I made him vacuum and sweep and clean toilets. Poor kid had bad weekends sometimes. I pushed him into ROTC, pushed him into the Army. Then they sent him to Korea, and I was like, oh, fuck. I thought he was going to get, I was hoping that he would get Europe or Hawaii, something, you know, better than that. It's really difficult to get into, apparently, anything but Korea these days. All of his friends, he had a friend that he went to high school with, they joined together, and they ended up in Korea together. I think they even had boot camp together. He had boot camp in Oklahoma, which was very upsetting to me because I had trained, like I said, at Fort Jackson here in Columbia, South Carolina. So it's about an hour drive for me, and I had anticipated going to his graduation. And because I can't fly, I've got some problems besides all the metal in my leg now. And in any event, I didn't make it. But his father and his half-sister all went, they flew out. And I haven't flown since my sister passed. So it's been 10, 15 years now. She was younger than me. So it was a bad time. And we were squeezed in like, and I didn't think I was a big woman. I had firefighters. I was sitting in the section. All the firefighters were sitting in. So we were like this. And I swear, then I said, no, forget it. I will drive before I get in a sardine can for $1,500, for a round trip. I'm like, are you kidding me? It was terrible. So, and then you had to get a hop. Well, I call it a hop. We used to do that in the military all the time. They don't do. So just traveling nowadays is just a pain in the ass. I am so grateful that I got to see Europe and I got to run around like I did. And I'm grateful for the fact that I didn't think I would get to be this age. So I straddled 2 centuries now, and there's so much to talk about. And we have a medium that's free. We can reach out, talk to each other. You can Zoom, you can do, we can do Zoom call. It doesn't matter. You're here in Augusta, Georgia, throw it in the comments and the live chat. I will have you come on. It's just my house. There's no pressure. And yes, there's actually real alcohol at the bar. I do drink. I do smoke in my house. I didn't for over a decade, well, 15 years, and I got hurt. And I was like, I'm having a cigar because I don't have any pain pills. I don't treat pain, not anymore. And I couldn't move. You couldn't drink and do that. And I already had some problems with my back and all that. So luckily I was on some things for that. And it kind of helped smooth out the rest of the pain enough to where I wasn't screaming every 24 hours. It was bad. For the first 6 months, I couldn't raise an eyebrow without just. And my husband had to be, he was the only caregiver. My kids didn't come, well, my kids, my stepdaughter, none of them came. My son came twice to see me. The second time after I had surgery that took like 15 hours or something. And he came in that day, and I was still good because they had to numb the whole leg. One of my legs had a lot of work they had to do. And they had to piece bones back together. They had to take bone out. They had to reattach the ankle. Oh, it was a mess. I was an absolute mess. Yes, I was. When the surgeon at the University of Georgia saw me, VA had sent me to them because it was 4 weeks. And here I'm still like this. I can't move because I'm just held together. And this leg is all over the place. I mean, it's just really, really bad. And he's like, you waited a month with this injury? And I'm like, yeah. And I still thought I was going to have to wait another week or two before they could schedule me in. And he didn't look at nothing, no schedule, no nothing, just that you'd be here in the morning at 4:30. We're doing surgery. Like that. I mean, he was mad. He was half mad about it. Young man. They were all great. I had a whole team. And it took 15 hours, and I have more metal in my leg than my fucking car has. Yeah, the 60-cent woman is back. And Augusta was still pretty much on lockdown at that point, which is, again, why I was at the University of Augusta, which is attached to the VA. It's like when I work with all of them, they're all attached to county hospitals and the VAs. Generally, it's always where I went. It was interesting because we did not live here for many years, but I was in Georgia. My husband's father was a Korean vet. And we used to drive him up here 3 hours. It was 3 hours. We lived below Warner Robins, Macon, that area. And it took 3 hours to drive him up here. It was so different back then. It was just the hospital. And now we have another one. We have an uptown division. We have a downtown division. Downtown's the hospital. But he passed away there. And it was so deja vu after we moved here. I'm 5 minutes from both VAs. The uptown one is just down the street from me. It's like, 5 minutes is 5 miles. And the other one is still downtown on 15th. So that takes, I hate that one. But they have valet parking, so they have something to recommend there. And they've got a Starbucks. So I'm going to kill you. Yeah, I'm going to kill that cat. She keeps doing that. I don't know why. But they'll latch onto you and you have to unhook their claws. So, you think screaming in pain, because right now I'm wondering if it's bleeding, and I'm going to kill her. This is a lovely satin dress, and I get a lot of compliments. I don't know if you can see it. Oops, I went crooked there. You can see that, right? Oh, I add those myself, but this goes all the way down to just above the ankles. And I have these wonderful little shoes that my husband bought that are see-through and lace, and they have the big heel and they zip up the back, but they go up above the ankle. And he bought those to encourage me to walk. And so I would have, and I wanted those heels. They are really good. And I get a lot of compliments. I don't wear them very often, and I've had it a couple of years. And then he bought me a second pair, and very similar, but they're sandal type effect, but they're the same time. The zip them up, and they have the square heel. It's like a 2-inch heel. And I get a lot of compliments. This dress, you put a crinoline under. It's got pockets. I love that. But it's just really cute. And I don't wear it very often. I try not to wear the same thing. And I see my microphone's trying to give me fits. So I accessorize it, do a little this or that. And I get stopped by a lot of people. I'm always surprised. I wore it last week, and I stopped in at Kroger, which is about a mile from us. It's brand new. And we just was walking around and got some things at the sun sale to check out. And as I was leaving, two of the men checkouts that were there as cashiers said, "You look marvelous. That is an amazing outfit. Are you going out?" I was like, "I'm going home." We've done the shopping. I'm done. But it was very sweet. And when I wore it today, I ended up in 3 or 4 places, and everybody's very kind. Because I tell them, I open my closet, so what you got for a woman over 60, and the closet door slammed shut. So I went to my other closet. I didn't ask there. I was like, let me just see if I find anything. And I like this style. It's a vintage style. Like a Lucille Ball dress is what it's like. They all are. I have a lot of them. I switched from pants and jet. Now I used to always either be in a suit, something like that. I have very few jeans. And they're all the straight leg, stretch kind. So it's very difficult for me after my injury to wear those now. It's just uncomfortable, especially getting them out at home. So I switched over well before I had the accident. Actually, I was just more comfortable wearing gowns that other people think you're going out in. I would have been going to lunch or to work, what have you. They're not expensive. I didn't spend, a fortune on them. $20 or so, and then I accessorize them, and they're really lovely. I have my own slips and things going up, so the ladies know. So the point being, at my age, people are really sweet. And they said they asked me for my ID for children's compliment, so I was like, gotta be, look at me. It's not a state secret. It's like, when your ID doesn't have a date, it just says waitress at the Last Supper, you're good to go. I was like, okay, here we go again. And of course, they get the information from you. And then you look so nice today. I've never seen you wear the same thing. I'm like, I really don't like to do that. I rotate 20 or 30 of them out. But it's not like I would go to the grocery store that week and then come back that week and the same thing. I just can't do that. The way I was raised, you had good clothes, you had school clothes, and you had play clothes. And it was like Easter Sunday all the time. If you went out with your parents, you were dressed to the nines. You had a little dress on, you had little white shoes on, you had a little purse and socks and little hats. My parents were totally into that. And that's just what I learned is, if you're going somewhere, you dress. So I've always had a wardrobe because I've always had to work. And I worked in places where you had to dress well. You couldn't wear jeans to work. I've never understood that principle, wearing jeans or shorts or what have you. But that's what they do now. I don't find it respectful to the office that they're upholding, but it's not me doing the work. What can I say? Well, that's good. I see I've been up here almost long enough today. I haven't had a lot of you bite. Come on up here. Remember how it was in the days of Cheech and Chong and we didn't know what the barcodes were about? Well, I'm pretty sure that was the number 666. That was always a big topic in the 80s. They're still playing the music that we all danced to in the 90s, and concerts were affordable. Everybody had a Bic. You can't bring a camera in. I used to work at the ones at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, used to work at the Civic Center. And we were they called us the T-shirt brigade because we would stand in front of the stage. And when the women jumped up, it was always the women. Always the women. You'd throw them back. and we wore the T-shirts of whatever band was playing. So I didn't have to spend $30, and they were $30 back then. I didn't have to spend that on the T-shirts. Still doing that. So this is like a bad movie. What's she doing? I don't know. I think she's drunk. So I have to go renew my license next month, and because of my age, you have to take either an eye test or you have to show that you've had your eyes tested within the last 6 months. Now, all my care has always been the VA. Damn it, that's just driving me to drink. It's always been the VA since I can hardly remember. My parents, when I grew up, you didn't get a doctor. You didn't go to the hospital. I once was running around without shoes on, or using the water balloons and all that. I stepped on a board with a nail like this that went straight through my foot. So this board was attached to my foot, and everybody's screaming, blood's running everywhere, just squirting. And they didn't call a hospital. My adopted mother passed out. So my sister-in-law, my aunt were trying to stop the bleeding and all that. And what I got from my father was, he's still going to do it. I don't know why. It's just doing it. My father was like, I told you have to wear shoes all the time. And I'm just looking at him going, mm-hmm. Then he reached over and he jerked the board off. Blood everywhere. My mom was just now sitting up in the chair, gone again. She could not deal with the sight of blood. I mean, her body just would quit. And I'm not so sure though, because this is why I call mine the stiffener. Because my parents, when I was growing up, the women would faint. I've never been able to faint in my life. But then they would say, okay, she's fainted, go and get, whatever they had, whiskey, scotch, whatever. And they would start handing her shot glasses till she felt better. It was amazing though, they had 2 or 3 of them, they'd go cook. I'd have 2 or 3 of them and I'd go order a pizza. That was the way my life was. I took mass transit. I did all that. My husband, of several decades, made me drive. He bought me my own car. He always has, handed me the pink slip too. I had a Cadillac for like almost 20 years. I had an older one and a newer one. So I missed that. But I have a little Chevy Cruze now. I like her. She's kind of sporty. My husband says, it's not a 6-cylinder. She won't do that. I get crazy at lights. Because people pull up, they're in front of 2 cars or what have you, or they're the front usually. And it's like somebody's pushing the damn car. Use the pedals, get on the road. The rest of us are going to try to get the nope, we didn't make the light. There's just all kinds of stuff that my head runs to. I got a lot of feedback on that because I ramble on whatever comes into my mind. Like I said, I don't have a set format unless somebody actually says, we want you to do this, or we want to talk about ghosts, or we want to talk about ghost hunters, or we want to see if it's really real, and we want to poke at it a little bit. That's why I like the Y-Files with AJ and Hecklefish. Hey guys, peace. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to talk about, so I don't drop anything up here. It's just me and whoever pops in if they want to. Otherwise, it's just me talking about world events, stupidity, and what the last 2 generations have not done. The other thing I get really, PO'd about is when they call me a baby boomer for one. I don't like that. You can call me a hippie till the cows come home. Don't call me a baby boomer. You'll get hurt, slapped. Don't do it. Can't take all my generation and shove us into that. That's not all of us. The rest of us are hippies, and y'all need to recognize that you're still listening to my shit. Your commercials are still on my shit. Freaking hell, Mick Jagger's still alive. That man was on the Ed Sullivan show. I'm old enough to know The Red Sullivan Show. I miss Johnny Carson. There's a lot of them that I miss. Our generation was too busy to see all the graft and corruption. And when we did see that that's what it was, which we knew by the 80s, we were old enough by then to go, this is so fucked. What did that congressperson do? The thing I couldn't understand is when I was going through college and so forth, the United States, in order to hold public office, you were supposed to be a natural born citizen. And we've got people like Ilhan Omar, who's a Somalian refugee, and she's in Congress going, well, we hate you, white people. What the fuck is she doing in my law branch of the United States? The other thing people need to remember is the United States was tacked onto America because of what? The Civil War. That's why. It's the United States of America, because they had to put them all back. But I don't think they got that really through in the 20th century, because, again, you've got sanctuary cities. And I think police are great people. I've always loved them. I mean, I told my kids, if you're walking around, you see something, you go find a cop. But that was back in the days when you could actually run up to one. Nowadays, if you run up to one, you might get pepper spray, tased. Go to a school meeting, disagree. Yeah, pepper spray you, tase you, drag you out. I used to go all the time. I had 3 principals fired and 15 teachers. I go, if you don't do this, I'm going public. I ran the local newspaper for years, too. It's a small town. But nowadays, especially since the pandemic, I was shocked at my grandson when he came back from Korea. We actually fought, and I had never fought with my grandson. I was so freaked out that this kid was like this suddenly. I mean, he bowed up at me, and my husband happened to be on the staircase, and we were at the door by the staircase, and he just slapped me. Yeah, I was about to. He bowed up at me. My grandson's over 6 foot, and his father's not his. But he told everybody, I think I passed out for a minute when he hit me. But he got squared away after that. But I almost didn't let him stay with me anymore, because I was so shocked by the way he was acting. And I didn't know who he was anymore. He listened to CNN, and what the fuck? I love that song, what the fuck? My husband says I have a potty mouth. I said, that's the 21st century fuck off. I don't care what you call it. After all these decades, I don't give a shit. Same with the kids. My grandson, if he's old enough to be an Army veteran, he's old enough for me to kick his ass. Not 13. So he came real close. And as it was, I would hardly talk to him. He moved out like a few weeks later. And I still couldn't understand him. Every once in a while, he'd come by, like when I was very injured. He dropped by 4 times. But we almost fought again because he was, they're killing these people. It's genocide. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They don't have a country. Gaza's not a country. Free Palestine, you idiot. Do you know what they do to women over there? Have you seen anything besides CNN? Do you think a woman walking around looking like Cousin It in a burqa and a letterbox here, you think she's fucking happy in 120-degree weather while the husband's walking around in shorts and sandals? Are you nuts? Look at what happened to these women before these guys took power. They were out there in miniskirts in the 60s and 70s having a damn good life. They don't have a life. They're literally slaves to the men in whatever capacity, including using them as shields against whatever might come in during a war. We built, with USAID, we built a tunnel system under there that almost, well, it might have been bigger than the London Underground, for God's sake. Who do you think paid for that? Why did Obama send a plane full of cash to Iran? I don't know, riddle me that, Batman. These are topics I like to talk about, but apparently people are scared to talk about because they weaponize the IRS. They weaponize the judicial system is not It's not a law for everybody. It's a law for the chosen, and it's not for you. It's, we'll do what we want, and you'll do what we want, and that's it. So it's not by the people, for the people, of the people anymore. The other problem I have is the Electoral College. So if the Electoral College votes in the president, check it on Google. I can wait. Why in the hell are you people out there standing in the rain or 120-degree weather so you can fucking vote? The other thing I don't get about voting is when I was coming out in my first vote, we still had the little curtains that you pull because your vote was a secret ballot. And now you got on a t-shirt, you got on a hat, you tattooed it on your arm, it's on your cards, on your launch, got one of the wavy arm things. Damn, this thing keeps pulling out. So, everybody, God knows who you're going to vote for. People were bitching because they said after the Hurricane Helene went through, hit North Carolina, and they didn't even try to help Augusta, but they had, it was all about North Carolina. It wiped out a lot of shit in Augusta. I never saw it. It's just North Carolina. And in the event, what the fuck? And they stole the election from Trump. They really did. I'm in Georgia. I saw thousands of ballots just thrown in ditches and shit. They stole it, no doubt. And then they tried to set him up by editing a recording that call he made to the governor. And he said, everybody almost in Georgia that holds office is so fucking corrupt. It's corrupt on steroids in this state. They should hang their heads for what the education system is not. It's like 49th in the county. All of America should be going, what the fuck? Why is there a woman from Pakistan in Congress? Why is there a woman from Somalia in Congress? They are not natural born. They love this country and the people, especially, apparently, if you're white. Now, I got news for y'all. White don't just mean white. Check the DNA profiles that everybody had to do for ancestry. My son even got me one of them for Christmas out of the pit because I'm adopted, didn't know who the parents were. I did meet one, but anyway. So I did it. And I told him before I did it, I was like, red hair, hazel eyes. I have true hazel eyes. It's very rare. Less than 5% of the population on Earth has true hazel eyes. And they come from a distinct area. And I knew this since I had glasses in my 30s. And they said, oh, you have true hazel. Did you know you have true hazel eyes? And they had to look it up. Back then we still had books. and nowadays I've even looked it up again. But I'm like, red hair, green eyes, got to be British, and British for me is Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and Britain is all of that. And sure enough, of course, it came back, and I had and I told my son, I was like, and he's Danish. I told him he was. He had to do it himself. He was Danish. He was from his background. And I knew he had some of my mitochondrial DNA, but he would have had more of his followers because the way he looked, it looked just like him. And I said, okay, here we go. And where do you go from there? So you're white. Do we go around and say, okay, we have to have an Irish month? Okay, well, we've got to have a Scottish month. Okay, well, we got to have a Danish month. There's a lot of white people, but they're not just white. They are from different sections of the world. So why are people going, oh, I'm from this one or I'm from that one? First, I'm a Mexican American. No, the hell you are. You're an American of Mexican descent, maybe. But if you're a Mexican American, take your ass back. Bring it on, folks. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be nothing here, except for real. If you don't like it, bite my ass. Bring it on. You tell me what's different. If I was in your country and I was freeloading and you were living below me because you worked instead, would you be happy with me labeling you the problem? No, the hell you wouldn't. There's just stupid. It's just, it's built on the premise of stupid. There is no difference in America. That's supposed to be the great thing about America. It always has been, is now, always will be. I pray. I do love Trump, though, I gotta say. I like that. I like that. Did I vote? No. When your president says he won the electoral college vote, but he also won the popular vote, what does that tell you? The electoral college vote is the one that elects the president. It's not the popular vote that elects the president. It's the electoral college, who supposedly represent the people. Now, I don't know about you guys. Do you know who your representative is? Do you know who's going to stand up there and say, I vote this away? Do you know? No, you don't. Even if you see me and you go, well, wait a fucking minute and look it up, you aren't, why vote? I think it's silly. It's not going to be my vote. It's going to be some weirdo I don't like, don't know, and don't want to see up there. Say, oh, we vote this way. No, bitch, you don't. If you represent me, you on the wrong ballot. And for God's sakes, people, go back to having a secret ballot. Quit putting that shit in your yard, on your head, on your car, at your job. Don't do that. Start saying nothing about politics. I think the Danes actually, that I admire them, you can't spend but $1,500, I think it is, to run for office there. You cannot go out and ask people. You can't have commercials. If you want to run for it, you pay such an amount to do a little bit, I guess, maybe some speaking events, but you can't do what I spent 20 million and we got the giggle girl. What the hell? We had weekend at fucking Barney's for 4 years. The Easter Bunny had to grab the fucking president, go, no, go that way. I've seen him looking for a chair to sit on. Nothing is out there. This guy's looking for a fucking chair. Hang your heads, Americans. And yet, it's still the country I love. It's still the country I've served for most of my life. But we're allowed to disagree, which is what makes this country great. So get up here with me and talk to me about anything you want to talk about. Throw it in the comments, throw it in the live chat. I don't care when you do it. I will try to pop back on. I tell you, I do this live from my own car, and I rarely do anything but what I want to talk about because I don't get a lot of input on my new channel. So if you do have a topic that you want to talk about that I can actually stay on, let me know, and I'll give it my best. If you're going to be in the Augusta area, or you are in the Augusta area, and you would like to talk, please let me know. I'll let you know where I'm at, bring you up, or whatever. It would be great to have somebody up here. Generally, like I said, it's just me, and I'm just recovering and come back on my feet. So, not to forgive me in some cases, because I'll get drunk fast up there. I don't have usually, but a tiny little whiskey bottle full, but that's enough. And I only do this 3 days a week, so see, my time is nearly up. So on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I'm up. Generally, I try and do it before 3 if I'm lucky. Subscribe, like, what have you, and then you'll have the information yourself. Or you can just pop into my channel if you want. That's what I do. So if I can do it, you can. In the meantime, keep it real. Try to remember, at least, hippies unite, man. This is the best thing, like I said, since AC. Let's do this while we still have freedom of speech, because even in England now, in the United Kingdom, they're putting folks in jail because they posted something on Facebook or Instagram. I thought I would only read that in George Orwell's novel, and I've seen it come true before my very eyes. And I've seen what we said once would never, ever happen again during the Holocaust. And I see people doing this again. And God help them if they're doing it in front of me, because I wouldn't let that shit fall. No, we are all one. People need to remember, doesn't matter if your neighbor's this or that color, don't make a good goddamn, they're your neighbor, they're a human being. That's it. When you're bleeding to death, you don't go, hey, I don't want this type of blood. I gotta have this type of blood. No, you take whatever the fuck they give you, shut the hell up. So unite. Come on, hippies, unite. Hug each other. Let's get over these stupid ass barriers that somebody has put up, but it wasn't my generation that did it. And it wasn't my generation that hired stupid people and put them in Congress and have a $30 million a year, which apparently becomes an audit problem. All that money goes away. You know, people, how the fuck did you get $30 million? Oh my. Those their incentives are good. And somebody had to pay those Lamborghinis off, right? It's for the children. It's for the children. I guess they tied them to the roof. I'm sorry. Don't know. I'm not. Okay, well, I gotta bounce. So keep it real. Come and see me, guys. Hippies Unite.